All right, truth seekers. We are live and it is Tuesday night, and we're going to be talking about the news that has been happening lately when it comes down to the reptilian stuff, not just reptilian stuff. And in fact, I got a couple of headlines that I'm going to go through. And here's the deal. As you should know already, they are reporting that there are non-human bodies allegedly recovered in crashed UFO documentary. You know, it's talking about it and everything else. But listen, the deal. Fox News, or was it? Yeah, it was Fox News. Fox News today starts saying that they know there are 4 different species of aliens now. They're in the UFO file, supposedly at some point going to release those. Now, what does that really mean? Well, we're going to talk about those 4 species, and I got a couple of video clips that I'm going to show you that we can go into it in a more deeper fashion. But the whole point I'm saying is that things are about to change in such a way that there are going to be people who's going to lose their mind. Now, they're not saying about UFOs anymore. Remember, UFOs are unidentified flying objects flying around that we don't know what it is. And now when you start talking about there is some type of beings that are walking around you that are not in spaceships, but walking around you while you're shopping, or maybe some beings that you're dating. You know, there's a few beings that you're probably doing a lot of things, kicking it with, and you don't even know it. But you know, your spider senses know something's different about them. All this stuff is about to be revealed in such a way that it's going to affect a lot of people's minds on a daily basis. And so we're going to go over that tonight and give you some information, and we're going to discuss each one of those species that they are claiming now that they're doing. And if you haven't checked, I want you to go and look up Fox News today, and they are saying that their scientists believe that there are 4 types of alien life have been found. Okay, we're going to use the word found, not allegedly or whatever. They found them. And what they're saying is they found these aliens on crashed aircraft. So something crashed, they found them, and they found 4 different species. So I'm going to play a couple of clips for you just to get us started so that we can get on with our moments, our day, and you're going to enjoy it. Let's get down to the conversation. Let's start with this particular clip right here.
4 different species of aliens. Another scientist called them greys, Nordics, insectoids, and reptilians. All of them have 2 arms and 2 legs, just like us.
Now, did you hear what he said? We have insectoids. Now, insectoids, we're going to get into that detail. And if y'all want, y'all can go out there and turn that heat on, the air up, down, whatever. But if you want, the insectoids looks like an insect, okay? And let's get into a description of that in a minute. But he did say they all are bipedal. So what do that mean? That goes all the way back to things that I've talked to you all about over and over and over, that we as humans has been mixed with all these different species. Billy talks about it, everybody talks about it, that there is some type of hybridization that has occurred over eons and eons of time. And we've been have horses, we've been have this, have that, and it's all coming to a point now that they're going to start revealing that they're not flying around like little measly, praying mantis and little lizards that's crawling on your wall when you walk out on your porch when you get ready to go out for a Saturday night. We're not talking about that anymore. We're talking about something that's 8 foot tall with a tail that is breeding and having things with people. And so now we're about to reveal it. So where do that take you? Where do that take you in your mind that at some point there's a possibility? And so let's give a description of these before we go any further down this road.
4 different species of aliens. Another scientist called them greys, Nordics, insectoids, and reptilians. All of them have 2 arms and 2 legs, just like us. Experts speculate the reptilians are scaly with long tails like a lizard. Insectoids look like a praying mantis. The greys look like your classic movie alien, and the Nordics look like a regular Swedish guy, but 7 feet tall.
What you didn't hear is that there were some black people coming back from Nibiru, okay? You didn't hear that they look like some other stuff that we've been talking about, the Anunnakis or all that as of now, right? You're hearing that we have 4 choices at this point. We have the tall ones that are tall, whatever, gray, not gray, but the tall, whatever you say, you get it. And they're 8 feet tall. They supposed to look like us, like you say, some Frenchmen, you know. He didn't say Palladians, you know, so there's going to be a lot of Star Seeds upset where we are. Well, how come we ain't represented, right? It's going to start all over again. We've done this through history on personal level. You know, race this. Now we got all these alien races, okay? We have the insectoids are going to be represented now, the 4 main factions, you know, and the reptilians. Now, out of all those 4, I would think the reptilians are the ones who do not want to be identified because they are the one causing havoc and doing things in our everyday lives, from the Illuminati all the way down to celebrities and you name it. They control everything. 80% of our government is at some point some type of hybrid of them or dominion of them or some type of 4 reptilian. It's just the facts is the facts. Go walk in there and ask them. Somebody's going to be honest with you before they do what they do to you. Okay. So, but they're going to tell you the truth. Then you're out of there. So, but go look. That's all I'm saying. And where I'm going with this is, are we now at a point to where the sugar honey iced tea is about to get real? Because again, they're not sitting here, and I'm going to rephrase this before we go further. They're not sitting here saying unidentified flying objects. They have now moved to the point that, hey, reptilians, great. Now, we already knew the grays around, and the Zeta Reticular are the ones who are doing the experience, abducting people. They notoriously has always been working for the reptilians, okay? And now we're talking about those Nordics, which are, like you say, Frenchmen, and he could have said maybe they're tall whites is what they say. And they look like us. They're just 7 feet tall. Maybe it's somebody who you think play basketball for Kentucky. I don't know. But the whole point I'm saying, and where I'm about to go with this, so that I'm making a point here, is it is time for you, especially depending on where you're upbringing and whatever it is, to come to a reality that everybody you know, cousins, friends, anyone, some of these people may not be who you think they are. That's just the bottom line. It ain't no I clone Tyrone on this deal, okay? Somebody may not be who you think they are. Somebody you were smooching with may not be who you think it was. And when they come forward and they're comfortable enough to shed or show you, and you look at 2 eyes and you done made it with an insect, and you thought it was lightning, or you thought it was all of that, and you found out it was a bug, what are you going to do? And I'm not just making this up either, right? We're talking about, they just said it. They're walking around on 2 feet. It's in the news now. Or they got to be walking around, or they found them in the crash. But in order to hide, so in plain sight, they have to at some point look like us, or we look like them. How about that one? Wear that one. And someone said they inherit. Yeah. Right now, if you go to Fox, I'm playing it now. Let me see if I have another clip for you so that you can kind of hear it. But yeah, let me just play the first little clip here again.
4 different species of aliens. Another scientist called them Greys, Nordics, Insectoids, and Reptilians. All of them have 2 arms and 2 legs, just like us.
Now, this is mainstream media. Here's what I'm concerned with. I'm concerned with my personal community. That I live in Dallas, Texas. K104 is not talking about reptilians. They joking. They're talking about jokes and call in and you get your $100 for your light bill paid. 97.7 Steve Harvey's channel is not talking about insectoids. They're not talking about gray aliens. They're not talking about tall Nordics. But all the other people in their communities are warning everybody. All the other communities are talking about religion is about to change. You won't find none of my churches that I went to. It's going to be in there Sunday talking about preparing for alien arrival. Somehow we just not in on that. And that's a dangerous situation. Mentally, by the way. Because we're going to have to do a psyops. I spoke about this early in our 5 o'clock show on my channel, Roderick Martin. And I think when they start really getting into this alien thing, I'm going to go to church. I'm going to go walk in church And when they start asking for, I need 100 people that got $10. Lord says 16 of you got 21,000. I don't care what number. If they get a big number and be saying, God said you got 50,000 and you're stingy, I'm going to walk up there with my $5 as though they about to get 50 grand. And they're going to give me the mic because he's going to be like, oh, brother, when he lay hands right here, and I'm going to say, Lord, what about the aliens? I'm going to do it on purpose. I'm going to be petty. I'm going to be really petty. Lord, right before he lay, and I guarantee you he paused because he can't lay hands on me anymore. He going to know it's a trap or wherever. But we got to do it all over. I'm just telling you. Somebody said Christianity will accept and incorporate into the. You got that right. Not just accept, but they're going to make the aliens the same number one enemy that's already in the church, and that is a demon. You can be the same thing, but you're going to change the classification of what you see and what you hear. And that's what they're going to do. Let's play another video and keep going. And maybe some of y'all will go with me on that psyop. See, because now you got Congress people like this Luna lady right here. Listen to her.
I have seen evidence in a skiff that leads me to believe there are things we cannot explain, and I have observed things that are of non-human origin and creation. That's my opinion.
Now, let me tell you something right there. She's lying. She's lying between her teeth, okay? And I studied this, what we call qualifiers and different things, and I'm going to break that down, but they're talking about it is all I'm saying. Let's just break down what she said. No, she's lying.
I have seen evidence in a skiff that leads me to believe there are things we cannot explain, and I...
Okay, the first thing she said, I've seen things in a skiff that leads me to believe that we can't explain what we see. That leads me to believe. What are you talking about? And let me get the other part. I
have seen evidence in a skiff that leads me to believe there are things we cannot explain, and I have observed things that are of non-human origin and creation. That's my opinion.
I have seen things that are non-origin in creation, and that's my opinion. That's a qualifier saying if we show you that was a bug and not a real alien, she can say, well, in my opinion, because I thought it was that. That's their way out. That's their cover-up stuff. But where I'm going with this is at least they're now talking about it, and they always saying what they seen behind the scenes. That's just a pet peeve of mine, saying I don't trust none of that stuff at all. You know, I'm just letting you know, if I was in the movie Shane, don't believe her, Menard, don't believe her, whatever, you seen the scene, none of that crap. But they all playing the same game. They're wagging the dog, okay? But what I'm saying is now you got Fox News, who we already know what side of the fence they are on if you're into politics, and I can care less. But these people are saying things out of their mouth what had to be approved by only the station manager, the writers, the editors, the chief executive editor. Everybody has let this pass through that we now going to tell you that there are some reptilians out of all things that are walking this planet. And I've done more videos on reptilians. I've had more people say, oh, man, don't talk about these lizard people. We have studied serpent knowledge. If you go to my personal YouTube channel, if you hadn't, I want to tell you all to subscribe to it now. You're watching me on Forbidden Knowledge. Here is my personal YouTube channel, Roderick Martin, Truth versus Authority, Shape-shifting. Do you see reptilian stuff everywhere? Yeah, some celebrities are reptilians. If you want to go on a reptilian journey, shapeshifters, serpent knowledge, the stuff that works for us because it's in our DNA, I welcome you over to Roderick Martin, Truth versus Authority, because I'm here on Tuesdays on Forbidden Knowledge. So let's continue, because I think when you start looking at the headlines, like there was another headline today, and this was on Fox News again. This is a double play for them. Non-human bodies allegedly recovered, okay, from crash UFOs. So now they're connecting the dots. First, they show us UFOs. So we release all the files. And by the way, the UFO files and I'm not taking away from what's happening with the Epstein files, have been downloaded 1 billion times. 1 billion times. And they ain't nothing compared to what they released on the Epsteins. People, this is worldwide stuff. This is why they protect it. This is why they unalive people for it. In fact, let me just give you a clip about that right now, and I'm going to give you my opinion because I'm in the game. Let's play this right here.
One I thought was going to do an interview, and then a couple days before sent me a message saying, after further consideration and long talks with my wife, I decided I'd be forfeiting my life if I participated in your interview. And I thought that was like very unsettling message to get, obviously, but also very specific word choice, forfeiting my life.
Forfeiting my life. People, the guy was correct. That is a very specific word choice, meaning he was told that you giving your life up if you say something. In fact, we're allowing you to live, but you're gonna forfeit this prize or whatever you want to call it of life if you open your mouth. Y'all get what I'm saying? Nobody's blocking some of these people telling their stories about the Allen stuff. I'm gonna just use it that. They're telling people you're gonna forfeit this privilege of being on this planet if you tell this off-planet stuff. Because we're talking global, otherworldly things that are going down. We're talking free energy, meaning anybody who's in the energy field and viewing, I don't care if you in network marketing company, Timex, or whatever it is, you're going to fight for it too. But anybody in the energy market don't want free energy. And people, you've never seen a UFO stop for gas, have you? Never. And I've been doing this a long time. In fact, let me just plug myself. I am a UFO investigator, and I've been on 11 different TV shows, including Forbidden Knowledge. Billy Carson thought of me and said, hey, I want you on my show. And I've been on Black Knight Satellite. Ancient Aliens brought me in, said, hey, we want you on our show. I hosted a show in the Alien Endgame on the Discovery Channel. George Norrie brought me in on his show. Regina Meredith brought me in on her show. Fox Tubi put me in their show. Okay. In fact, I have a book out right now. If you go to RODERICKMartin.com and get an autographed copy, Billy Carson wrote the foreword on this book. In fact, he said some good things about me. And this is why I'm here. And I want to read it to you. He said, there are moments in human history when truth can no longer remain buried, when the pressure of suppressed knowledge becomes so great that it must rise to the surface. And we're living one of those moments now. And for thousands of years, humanity has been fed carefully edited versions of its own origins, and one shaped the power, religion, colonization, and the unspeakable truth, which is this book. It's not just a book that challenged history. It confronts the very foundation upon modern civilizations have built. Now, the subtitle of this book says The Unspeakable Truth and How Fake History, Christianity, and Self-Oppression robs the African-American people of their voices. Now, I'm going to put my web address here because we're doing a autographed copy. You can go order right now. Within days, I'll send it out. And whatever your name, I'm going to meditate and write you a personal message, and I appreciate it. Forbidden Knowledge, you can support Forbidden Knowledge because they are the publisher. Billy Carson is my publisher as well, as he wrote the foreword. And as we continue the show, I just want to read what he says. When I first encountered the work of Roderick Martin, he says this about me. I immediately recognized something rare, which is me. He said, a researcher willing to flow the evidence where it leads, which is me. He keeps talking about me. And he says, even if it collides deeply with held beliefs, he's saying good stuff about me. International narratives and cultural conditioning, and this is not easy work. It requires intellectual courage, which I'm smart, spiritual resilience, I got that, and a deep respect for truth over conflict Roderick possesses. So, hey, listen, y'all know his stuff. So get the book, and I will sign it for you. And there you go. Look at it right there. So we're ready, The Unspeakable Truth. And Billy Carson wrote the foreword, and we have a few copies in right now that I'll sign personally, and I'll put Billy's telephone number in there if you want. It's his channel. Why not? You call him up. Say, hey, man, I brought Roderick's book. He'd be like, what? That's dope. And if you believe that, you know AI voices work. So I'm just saying, let's go. And Shirley said, you're talking old news. Shirley, I bet you're an old soul. You can't come here and say things about me like that. Come on now. I just told you what was headline today. It's in the headlines today. Are you paying attention? People, this is the problem with our community. We think we know what we know when we don't know nothing. You get what I'm saying, right? And this is why we don't pay attention to what they're doing, because we sell this fact. And that's the case. You can get your own show and nobody's going to listen to you. Okay. And you can hide behind anonymity of what you want. What I'm saying is, I ain't here to tell you old news. Now, you want to talk about, do aliens what? And it ain't worth. So you might want to just hop off, is what I'm saying. I'm just telling y'all, it's just so crazy. I'm just telling, we do what we do. Of course, you're going to hear something before. What? Aliens been around 1,000 years. I'm having a conversation with Shirley, y'all. So I get it. But what you did know is that Fox News said it today, about a few hours ago. That's all I'm saying. A few hours ago. So anyway, I love you, Shirley. Thank you. Love you too. All right. So let's keep going is all I'm saying, y'all. The whole point is, in the community is a very serious situation happening right now, because you're not going to hear this in black churches. Let me just start there. And it's not a racist thing for our other, and listeners and everything else. I'm just saying, in a community, we're not going to hear about this. You get what I'm saying? Because somehow there's a disconnect. And if that happens, if the aliens show up over here and we're not hearing anything over there, the possibility of somebody's minds and things could be affected is where I'm going, because we're not prepared for this. We're not prepared for it. And that is a problem. And that's something that we need to fix when it comes down to scenarios like this. This is all I'm saying. We need to fix it, and we just have to talk about it. Now, let me tell you why they don't want us to really talk about this. Let me play this right now.
There are a number of other reasons guiding their desire to keep this secret, including a general belief that the public can't handle the truth. I would argue the public can handle the truth. I think my film shows that. People aren't watching it and jumping out of windows. They're curious and they want to learn more. There's also a general feeling that, a concern that they can't tell the American public what they know and don't know without also telling our adversaries and giving them some sort of advantage. But I think that that's not really accurate. I think our adversaries know we're not alone in the universe. They know we've been recovering craft of non-human technology, non-human origin. Saying it out loud wouldn't give them any new information.
Okay, so they played their hand there, and mean it at our peril. Military industrial complex runs our world, plain and simple. Okay, they run the government, they run everything. And of course, we know the pesky reptilians behind that. You hear what he said, how religion will adjust? Because religion needs to keep the control system that's in place. And so again, the aliens will become the number one enemy, and they will be under the classification of demons. And now everybody in church is going to stay the same. It's just the demon looks like a little gray thing, and this one look like this one. But see, the shocking part of this is when we become in the presence of these things, because I believe that everyone, when these reptilian things really get out here, they're going to activate your reptilian consciousness. What are you talking about? They're going to activate your reptilian consciousness. You have one in there. You have a reptilian brain. You got reptilian teeth, if you go look it up. Now, Shirley doesn't, but the rest of you do, and I do. And you have reptilian, it's just a lot. I'm just letting you know, because those people have interbred with humans. You go back spiritually, you will find out that the reptilians were part Anunnaki people too. You're going to find out that that serpent thing's been around for quite some time. Every culture that we can name before religion, Egyptian, Mesopotamia, Mesoamerica, and the list goes on and on. Every last one of them talk about serpents before everything. So they've been here all the way back to Africa. So we know the reptilian is the ones that they do not want us to talk about. And they are the ones sending the messages, don't bring, because we outnumber them, number one. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying to you that it's getting ready to get real. It's getting ready to get real, except for in the communities that are not getting the communication. All of you tomorrow, most of you can get in your car, go to work, and you're going to hear, I don't know, whatever the guy named, Michael, the movie, which that was, don't even waste your money. Or you're going to hear, what's the guy, Brown? Producer's name over here, Chris Brown. You're going to hear Chris Brown, but you're not going to hear none of them tell you the aliens are coming and they found UFOs and the government filed. You are not hearing that. You're not going to hear UFO files has been released in the community. They're just not going to do it. And that's why we're going to have a problem in the community when stuff really hit the fan, because that religious dogma is going to grow and it's going to affect. It's going to cause arguments in the house. It's going to cause some people go out in the streets. There's going to be some people out there singing a song, "It's the end of the world as you know it." And there's going to be people out there just telling, it's going to be all kinds of stories. There's going to be people running out of the house and, "Oh, my man is a reptilian. Oh, my man looks like a bug." You get what I'm saying? This reveal stuff is going to be pretty cool there. Someone said, when we encounter these reptilians, how should we interact them? We did the reptilian, how to spot them, how to know webinar last week, and I don't know if you was able to attend. We're going to do another one where we gave everybody the clue how to shoot the energy at them, and you'll know who's reptilian no matter who they are. There's a lot of situations that you can know who they are, especially fake humor is going to always be number one. They can't really, you'll know that it's not really funny. They're trying to be funny. And then not empathy, but apathy. There's a lot of stuff that you can notice once you do that. Yeah. So I'm just saying that the challenge is, what it is. But let's continue with the show. I got some more stuff to show you that we can discuss something that they were saying. And one in particular, I'm going to play this one again. This is Tim Burchett, though. Y'all know who that is. Let's play him.
The problem we have right now is the deep state's fighting the president on release, and he kept his word. And I suspect some of our not so friendly comrades in some of our alphabet agencies are slow walking a lot of the information. It's about power, it's about control, and that's kind of what runs Washington.
Now, all of a sudden, we got political stuff, right? The president kept his word. People don't believe none of that. There's no way. The president ain't got nothing to do with UFO stuff. I'm telling you now. He ain't got the power for this one. There are some people way above that are pulling the puppet strings that sit way up there to controlling this one, because this is not about some of the, even though we know Epstein stuff was just insidious. It was just the worst of worst. This one here affects everything. And I'm not talking everybody, everything, okay? When this comes out, this affects everything that you know today, from health, God. You know how many religions got different gods? Buddhas, the other ones. This affects gods. When everybody now claiming to be God, right? And so, all one of the aliens got to do is say, "I'm your God," and we're going to believe it. I just want to know which one of the four, the reptilians, the insectoids, grays, or whatever, is just going to pop in and say, "No, I created you." And how many of us bow to that? How many people are going to bow? If one of them races claim to be God, who's going to bow? This is the problem which actually what we need to have a conversation about, because now they're saying, "Oh, the president's this and this and that." The key to it right now, we got to be pushing for this information in our communities. That's all I've been saying tonight in so many words, because this when I wrote this book, and I'm saying this because I'm standing on this for you. Okay, I'm gonna stand on this, and I don't care when anybody who think they don't know what they know think they know. All right, every TV show that I was on, when George Norrie, you know what it is, Coast to Coast Radio, when they called me in, because I was a certified UFO investigator, and happened to understood when I started investigating, there was a different polarity shift in our community, how we saw it versus how other people seen it. Yet we got grandmama could be a ghost, but we don't believe aliens are there. We was first and didn't think anything else was up there but heaven. They know that there's a disconnect. Every one of them asked the same question. How is the people of color is going to do this? I didn't say woke people. If you woke and you've been knowing, I'm proud of you. Take yourself and do what you do. We're talking about Star Trek here. Dr. Spock and Captain Kirk. The need of the many outweigh the needs of the few. That's what we're talking about, okay? We're not just you by yourself. Worry about somebody else. There's a lot of others who can't take the information. And we're not doing anything about it. We're not doing anything about it. We have to come together as a community and start having these alien conversations. If you were in Dallas, we've been doing this for the last month or two, and we can talk about some stuff. The room is full. We start talking about aliens. It is crickets. Okay, we have an event center in this corporate office I have. There's a big 200-room thing right there. I got a training room back there, the whole 60. We got 6 conference. All of this is here. And the minute we start saying, hey, come out, share your experience, we can say ghosts. People will show up, but they don't, I don't know why they don't believe if the ghosts can walk through a wall, these dimensional beings can't. They can. But this is the world that we're in, and I'm just saying that what can we do? Don't be afraid now. You don't have to be anymore. They can't call you crazy anymore. They can't say all that alien and UFO stuff, whatever. They cannot. And if they go to work and they work a job, like a real job, then you tell them right there with the stuff, that all that stuff is coming out of their taxes for their check. There is money coming out their check paying for the UFO office. They're in the game. Yeah, every time they go to work, every time they get up in the morning, 6 a.m., 5 a.m., and they come back and they get their paycheck on Friday, the money is going, some of it, tax money is going to that UFO office that we have now. Plain and simple. They're in the game. And they don't want to believe you. Well, we got congressional hearings, and you don't see none of that on any of our stations. You don't want to hear that the UFO files released. How many of you right now, I'm just saying, have heard that UFOs in your neighborhood, and if you grew up in the neighborhood? Okay, so this one says Matilda McCar alien interview is better. It's probably one of the best books you can read. We did a whole book club on that book. Alien interview. Get the whatever edition. They have a edition that has the notes and stuff, the study edition, the best one of them all. That's a great book. So I will tell you, yeah, that's a good one. Someone said I had alien orbs fly by my friend here downtown Rockwall. Well, you could have came out to Dallas. We ain't but like 30 minutes from Rockwall, and you could have been part of our groups and told the stories. That's all I'm saying. The cat is out of the bag. My tables have turned. Yeah, they have. Yeah, you in Houston? Yeah, we're in Dallas. We are on what is that? June 13th. June 13th, we having another meetup here, and then after that meetup, we're going to have all our group here June the 13th during the day in Dallas. Then we're going to caravan over to one of the big movie theaters because we're doing a group package. And we're going to watch the release of Disclosure. So we do that. We do movie nights, all of that here. So, yeah. And we talk about aliens, UFOs, symbolism, all this kind of stuff. So we do it here live here in Dallas. And we can do that. So if you near Houston, come on up. Anybody in Houston? I don't know, but Dallas. Any of y'all in Dallas, though? But let's continue down the road. All right. So as we are going, I'm going to play something else And then we're going to get deep into some descriptions of some of these extraterrestrials and what you need to do to understand yourself. And before we go to that, like I said, I want to encourage any of you to get you a autographed copy of my new book. Billy Carson is the publisher, as well as him writing a foreword on it, and an autographed copy. I'm gonna do a personal copy, personal to you. And we have a few here, 10 or 15. And yeah, you can go to RODERICKMartin.com. And if any of you need a consultation call, if you want to talk about the aliens, you want to go deeper into some stuff on that same RODERICKMartin.com, you can schedule a consultation call and we can go deep. And I'll share some stuff with you that you can't hear on here. That's for sure. But we'll go deep. So just give me the opportunity to do that. All right. So let's continue to, all right. Modex has said I'm in Dallas. All right. If you're in Dallas, then I could put our 800 number or our text number on, and then you can jump on our text list. So there we go right there. You text truth to the word 888-440-9771, and you will get on our text list and you will get alerts. If it's a Dallas area code, you will get, one of the 3 or 4 area codes. Yeah. So join the text updates, get on our list, and then we would do that. So I'm going to go back right now. All right. Let's start with the 4 aliens. So I'm going to go back and play the video, and then we're going to break down 4 of these aliens. Okay. And so we're going to do that right now. Let's go.
4 different species of aliens. Another scientist called them Greys, Nordics, Insectoids, and Reptilians. All of them have 2 arms and 2 legs, just like us. Experts speculate the reptilians are scaly with long tails like a lizard. Insectoids look like a praying mantis. The Greys look like your classic movie alien, and the Nordics look like a regular Swedish guy, but 7 feet tall.
Okay, so listen to that right now. They all walk on 2 feet. Do you imagine what we're talking about here? Do you imagine somebody looking outside their window and they see a giant praying mantis? And we know what they look like with these claws and all that stuff. That's standing there. And you thinking, how does it fly a ship? How is it walking on 2 feet? How does it have intelligence? How is it reading my mind? The list goes on and on and on. This is where I'm talking about. See, because if you see the Nordics, because they look like us, just tall in their, tall whites is what you hear the stories. And they're 7, 8 feet tall. You're just going to think that's a good old Kentucky basketball player or Duke. You get what I'm saying? Unless they're just standing in the wrong place. But when you go back to a reptilian lizard shapeshifter, you can't handle that. Now, let me warn you and tell you that there's different factions of reptilians. There's reptilian consciousness, which controls a lot of people. And we'll get to the black aliens in a minute. That's a great question. So you have reptilian consciousness, which is in another dimension. It comes into our minds. You got reptilian, full-blood reptilians, which most of them are underground and dimensional or over at the Vatican. You have reptilian hybrids, which are human reptilian zeta reticular mixes, okay, which are people that can walk around, look like us. And depending on how much reptilian DNA is activated, these can shapeshift between what we see with the holographic things that they're working, technology that they do. In fact, Nancy Pelosi, if you ever heard of her, had something to say. Listen to this clip and listen to her verbiage. Listen to her verbiage. Just pay real close attention to the verb. I'm going to play a clip. I want you to listen to what she say. If y'all ready for this, listen to what she says.
But they didn't know what they were talking about. We know we're different from the presidential. We're very discreet, reptilian, cold-blooded. These are the races we have to win. Others are winning the whole country. 10.
What did she say? We are, and they got to tell us. She paused for station identification and said, we are reptilian. We are cold-blooded. And then she hit the politics side and says, these are the races we have to win. Because she said we're not like them. Did y'all get that, right? Anybody get that? Some of y'all gonna be like, nah, she didn't say nothing. Yeah, focus on her eye. Oh, yeah, I saw that at the end. I'm gonna play it again. Yeah, her eyes. Right? At the end, they shapeshifted a little bit. People don't pay close attention to that. That's a great catch for you. Well, yeah. She said it. We're cold-blooded. We're reptilian. We did. And then these other races we have to win. That she tried to tie back in. And the people laugh. They know. They know. We just don't believe the folklore because that particular reptilian species is hybrids. This is why you have all these Illuminati factions and everything else, because they all ain't on the same team. They are different bloodlines. Yeah. They're not on the same team. Okay? That's all I'm saying. They're not on the same team. She's like 300 years old. She could be. She could be. Who I want to give a shout out to today? Anybody going to be supporting Forbidden Knowledge, my channel, and the book? I want to personally give you a shout out. If you go to RODERICKMartin.com, get your autographed copy, send it out over the weekend to you, and any other things. Someone said, man, I think telepathic talk to people. And yeah, that's Shirley. Okay, Shirley, I'm giving you, thank you for staying here. Yeah, so where I'm going with this is, should we begin to prepare your nieces, your nephews? Because let me give you the future. There's going to be a time that in about 25 years that an everyday commute to work is going to be on a spaceship going up to whatever, the Hilton Hotel in space, maybe asteroid mining, maybe a food operation, maybe they're going to go to space to go to work. Would your kids and grandkids be prepared for what they see when they look out the window? Because if you think they're open-minded and you think aliens is real, but you ain't had the real talk, and then they're still embedded with religion, I ain't say spirituality, but some religion, when they look out that window, they're going to panic and their minds are going to be fried. Because when you see a reptilian and when you see a big old giant, caterpillar, some Lyrian, it's incomprehensible. You cannot try to fathom it. Your mind can't, it don't even know what it is. It never seen anything like it. It will tear your mind apart. Be like, what is this? You got to prepare them. They're preparing everybody else on the other side of the fence. I'm saying people who watch mainstream on this side, we got to call into the radio stations and say, hey, y'all talk about UFO files and watch the black host laugh. Alien, oh, you must be nuts. Darn you. I'm telling you, it's one of those things. I'm just saying that it's important for us to prepare the next generation. This is what this book is about. Real deep research, 2 years of researching and everything else. And I'm saying it's important that they have this conversation. I'm just telling you. And I'm not talking about, Little Red Riding Hood type stuff either. When they look up to the sky, you want to be in position. When they go, mom, dad, brother, sister, is there anything else up there? And boy, you jump in on that as quickly as you can. Because they're going to ask the question. See, because they asked it on Sunday in a church parking lot, the answer is heaven. A mansion. Golden shoes. Just live to get there. That is still happening today, by the way. That's the answer they're going to get. If this Sunday, 4 days from now, you go out in front of the church and one of those kids says, what's there? And you got to remember, they aliens anyway, and they already not feeling like they belong here into the program hit them. And they're like really asking, can I get back home? Can I get back home? Because now I'm saying it is time for us to sound the alarm. We cannot be sitting here waiting to say, when I see them, then I believe them. they're preparing everywhere else. I'm not making this up. You ain't hearing it in the radio station. So Sunday they'll be like, "Oh, that's heaven." Now, all along, we talked about a document that country over there is planning on October the 7th. They're doing this national thing in all the churches, Israel. And they're doing this company where they're going to do a video because they know something more else is coming out, and they're trying to prepare all the churches for this, okay? It's weird. But when you go look at the list of churches under Israel who gets paid, it's all the black mega churches. They're controlling us. Yeah. I don't even want to get on that conversation because then I got enemies, because more people have lost their lives from that symbol, not the one Hitler did and everyone's, but the symbol that looks like a cross. More people have lost their lives over religion and than anything on the planet. And I'm not going down with that one. So what I'm going is, we need to call in radio stations. You need to get them to start talking about this stuff and quit joking with us about Kevin Hart this weekend. That's fine. That's his business. He still got his money. He got roasted. He got his money. Michael Jackson is gone. His brothers made up a whole new show with his sister's not in it, and they got paid. They got theirs. We, on the other hand, got to sit here and bicker about, show me some proof, when they're preparing everything for everything else, and then we're not putting in the questions. Not what. Please never worry about what is happening. Always ask why. There's nothing more important than anything that goes down but the why. And let me give you a quick example. And it's a detour, but I'm going to give it to you. If you walk up on a murderous scene tomorrow and it just happened, they went in there and they shot everybody. 8 o'clock news, they're going to say 23 people got shot by a lone gunman, and boom, boom, boom. And when 30 seconds, it's gone. You're going to hear it on another news. What happened? 23 people got shot. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to spend the next 5 weeks trying to find out why. But you don't see that on the news. They're going to do the crime scene. They're going to talk to everybody. And that's how you got to question everything, with the why process. Your kids used to do it until you beat it out of them. You tell them why. Then finally you beat them enough to say, because I said so. And then you train them for the system. But they came here honest spirits, uncorrupt spirits. And they knew to ask the question, why, until you got frustrated and beat it out of them and told them, don't ask me why I do what you're told. And you think you wonder why they do what they do. That mini-me that you created, please release them. Let them know that aliens exist. Let them know. Let them know there's some reptilians out there. Let them know one of his future girlfriend could be a lizard. You gotta let them know. I'm just telling you, you gotta let them know. I'm saying it's all good to do. Now I go every day 5 o'clock on my personal channel. This is Forbidden Knowledge channel. I'm only on here on Tuesday nights, okay, at 8 o'clock. If you want more of what we do, you want to be in our private Patreons, you want to come to our get-togethers. Billy was in here in Dallas last month. We brought him down here. We had a private conversation. Imagine being in a room with like 30, 40 people and Billy, and we had Epstein survivors. And man, it was just detailed because a lot of people don't know what we're doing. But our stuff is fly. Our stuff is deep. It's personal. And we're in a room and eating food and all this. I'm telling you, we do it like that. I'm just telling you. Somebody save your email and I can get your book along with Billy Carl. Well, my book with personal signatures right now. And there's other big things coming. So if you go to RODERICKMartin.com, I would appreciate it. And I will personally write you something. Okay. My mini-me thinks, yeah, there you go. And I will personally sign it, send it out, and write a personal message. I'm going to meditate on your energy. of that. So, and then if you want to talk about stuff in detail, share with things, we can analyze photos. I do it all. I'm a UFO investigator, so I'll do it for you and share some things privately with you. We even have a special group that we give access to files and things that you won't see anywhere on the planet, except for the government people we got it from. Okay, we do that here. We do a lot. So we got 450 people in here tonight. That's a great show. But again, tomorrow I'm going to have Darren Cuby, or Thursday. Darren Cuby was already on my show, and his father was in a group called the Shalites, okay? And his father, they opened up for Joe Jackson. Darren came on and had a tell-all that how Joe Jackson, I'm just telling you, and the family around him was like reptilians, and they did all the satanic worshiping. So the first time I had him on the show, it was like, cuckoo. Second time, I was like, whoa. Then I started getting contacted with girls who said, hey, he's telling the truth, because me and my friend at 14 years old used to hop out of our windows and get into these limos, black limos, and drive off to some of these places. Now he has a book out that he's telling his story about the Jacksons, the satanic stuff, which is cool. That's his book. So we're going to talk to him. Now, I wasn't going to do it again until I got an email from the Jacksons themselves. Now, it wasn't no make-believe. It was their family telling me to not air his stuff. Now, could they have sued him? Yeah, you sue people when it's not true. I want you to know that. You sue people when it's not true. So me being petty, called him up and said, hey, I want you back. So we're going to have him back, and we ain't going to be singing a song, I Want You Back, but we could play that, But I think tomorrow, Thursday. So it'll be on my personal channel. So I'm going to put my personal channel up here right now. I want you to screenshot it so you can go back and subscribe to my channel, okay? And then get the alerts either tomorrow or Thursday at 5 o'clock during the day. And if you miss it, you can watch it. But you do not want to watch this now that the movie is out. And we might do a lie detector test with some people online. We're gonna reveal some dirt, some good stuff. All right. And so let me put it on the screen, and so you can screenshot my YouTube channel, and you can find it right there. Boom. There it is. Roderick Martin, Truth versus Authority. You put that in there, and then you will be able to. We're trying to hit our 30,000 subscribers. We need about another 1,000 people. But anyway, Truth versus Authority. Go there. We talk about reptilian shapeshifters. We get really deep for you, and you can do that. And for those of you right here, you can go and get a autographed copy of the book. And let me take this banner down. Yeah, you can get an autographed copy of the book, and I'll sign it for you. Appreciate it. Send it out to you from here, and I'll be most appreciative. And if just 10 of you buy the book, I would just be tickled pink today. Just tonight, even though we're a bestseller, but 10 of you tonight, I'll be tickled to death. Pink, whatever it takes, just do it. Let me go here. All right, so let's continue with the show so we can continue on. We got about 7-8 minutes here. What I want you to begin to start watching these headlines, because this is where the micro disclosure, but micro psychological warfare that they're about to do. Remember last week, they already prepared and said anybody, they're going to, talk about religion. They're going to explain to people what religion is compared to the alien stuff. I think when they start trying to show alien bodies, because you got to remember, if they wanted to disclose this, they could have, they didn't have to show us nobody new. They could have showed us a 1947 alien body. I would have took that. I would have compromised with that. If you would just give me one of the little pesky things laying on an operation table that we can verify proof that it was real, I'll take that. Because all we want to know is what we know. I'll take that. But instead, they come up with this other story. Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. So, yeah, we might do it tomorrow, but I think Thursday, because I got to reach back. We was planning a 2-day one, so I got to reach him. I didn't hear from him today, but he's pretty consistent when he comes. All right, so hopefully you enjoy my monologue and commentary and my worldview tonight. Again, I appreciate your time. I just like to keep it real. I just like to tell you. I don't have a formula of sitting here trying to give you this ancient history. I don't have it. I know what I'm in the now. I'm not going to go. I'm not saying that you don't want to learn that knowledge. You should, and Billy, you're in the right place. He'll take you there. My thing now is, what do you do when you're dealing with it? What do you do when you find out that your cousin, even your own kids, could be extraterrestrial? You might have thought you had them, but you remember that weird thing came in your room that night, and now you got an alien baby. People, this is real. It's real. You don't even know who's who no more. It is real. The meat suit, remember, you got the body, you got the soul, you got the spirit. All this stuff is different. And you can have many spirits in one body. Go figure that one out. I'm just letting you know. And when they said Eve got pregnant, it was by Asmodeus. That was a serpent spirit. Okay. I'm just letting you know. Just do what you're doing. So I love each and every one of you. If you've not heard the word I love you, you're going to hear it right now. I love you. And hopefully you can put in the chat, I love you back. And then people will read it later. I'm not talking about the parrot love where love you back. We're talking, we are doing a conscious love big thing here in Dallas with Brother Yosef, Dreamwise from Houston. And it's one of our things about conscious people, and finding love and everything else. You can go to New Life Tools and you will be able to go here. It's going to be on August the 8th and check it out. So, yeah, y'all know who Brother Yosef is. He goes really deep. In fact, last Tuesday, not this Tuesday, but Tuesday prior to that, we talked about this. And that was one of the conversations that we had. But again, I love you, and me too. We all searching for true love, right? Well, not we all. Everybody don't want that shit. I think it's time to experience it, and so that is something that we're in pursuit of. And as you meet people, and hopefully you meet that same person with the commitment of experiencing true love, and then you can get that before you leave here. All right. Okay, so once again, go to my personal channel, Roderick Martin. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock on my channel. And then for those of you who bought the book, I will call, say thank you personally. I'll put it back up before we go. My web address, go get the web address, and then and then get the copy of the book so I can call you, thank you, send it out to you, and tell you that I love you and thank you for support. Billy, I love the support. Being a publisher, he gets credit for that too. And for him picking out a good person like myself to partner with in what we're doing. All right. So again, my personal channel, Roderick Martin on YouTube. And then you make sure you subscribe. And then at 5 o'clock Central Time, I do it every day at 5 o'clock. Okay. All right. Someone says, y'all at Forbidden Knowledge is sellouts. Okay. I want to address this. I love it. I love when I get hit like this. Let me see. Y'all know that. I was just about to go. I'm like the Godfather. When you pull me back in. So y'all at Forbidden Knowledge is sellout. At first, we look at the universe through world telescopes. Dude, your ebonics is worse than mine. I got a grammar box. All right. At that, black people are descendants of black. You are probably, and y'all, and I'm not saying black people. And I'm going to say this personally, and I know I'm going to lose some people when I say this. Dummy. Okay? Because this is the problem why I was just telling y'all why we need to get a hold to our community. This dummy is going to go spread this crap. What he's talking. I'm not saying that we're not descendants of something. You get what I'm saying? But we should know that our DNA has been altered, and there's a whole bigger thing going on here. This dummy who has nobody listening to them, I'm giving them their 5 minutes of fame right now, who wants to say we sellouts because we speak in truth, because the dummy don't know truth. Okay? You get what I'm saying, right? But they want to spread with this energy of we're descendants of black God. You don't even know that. Ain't nothing real no more. Really, be honest with you. Truth is we got to now dissect this stuff, right? And go tell one of your kids that you are descendants of a black God before you brainwash them at 3 or 4. They're going to tell you, no, I'm something else, because they know the truth. Our DNA has been altered, dude, so many times on this planet. It ain't even, but it's pathetic that you don't know that. I don't even know where you come from. I don't even know what it is, but I'm telling you, today is not your day. You are one of the problems we're going to have when those things step on this freaking thing and look like a lizard and reptilian, and you're going to be walking around with a sign, Black Gods, and see what happens. That's all I'm telling you. Dummy. I know, y'all, pathetic, right? I'm just saying we need truth now. This is real. It's at the doorstep now. I'm not saying that none of this stuff, there's not other worlds and things are happening, but you cannot walk today with this tomorrow with what is about to happen in the real world, where people are going to be going crazy. People are not going to handle this right. This is big. It's big. Yeah, you should be gone. Go away. Go start your own thing and see if 2 people will listen to that crap. And I'm not against your thoughts. I'm against the way how you want to say sellouts and all that, and effers and all that stuff, because you're hearing something that cognitive dissonance won't allow you to function right. See, you all your life you think this is true, and when you hear something else, you can't. And it's the same thing. They hear something that ain't true, and they hear other. Cognitive dissonance will not allow you to function on this planet. Go away. That's all I'm telling you. We need to now get it out there in our communities too, everywhere, and not just black thing, but you get what I'm saying, that they're preparing everywhere else. And first thing we got to do is there's more than heaven sitting up there, and we're not talking about the gods, because these things are walking around and they're taking people, they're dissecting people, they're breeding with people, and it ain't nothing to do with Ra, and Atum. You better believe that one. And with that being said, I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave. I'm just going to leave. But I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't, I don't let stuff like that walk anymore. I used to don't read. Yeah. Whatever, dude. You ain't have nothing left. Now he's talking about white people. See, now we ain't even go there. You hear what I'm saying? Now, see, that's the pro-black thing. This is what I was trying to say. We're not, man, we're one, white, black, we're all one souls here. I mean, one spirits. And so this alien thing is everybody. Everybody who's walking this planet, whatever color they are, has been altered DNA. And ain't none of that's going to do nothing for us when the truth hits. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There is not any reptilians. I'm giving you a moment, dummy. See, I already knew where he was going. Anytime I see this kind of stuff, now the same dummy is talking about there's not any reptilians. That means your knowledge of Adam, you haven't even studied the serpent knowledge. You haven't even went to Egyptian, wherever you're going, and seeing all the serpents everywhere, serpents written on tombstones all over the world, that lizard people on rocks and everything else. Dude, what did you do? That's crazy. I know, now I'm sounding crazy too. I know, right? Dopey said, don't waste your time with it, Rod. Hey, I love you. I love you. Anyway, I'll see y'all, if not next week, next Tuesday, here on Forbidden Knowledge, or come to my channel and we will do that. And some of you, I would love if I put it on the screen, you can hop up in here too and talk and all that good stuff. And so, all right. So I know, right? Bruce, talk about this is just proof of the brainwashing. I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. Yeah. They said that this world has a draconian leader, at some point, y'all. And so we just have to look at it. I appreciate all of y'all putting that in the chat. Hopefully he reads all of this and understand what he don't know. And maybe he can come back to us, maybe on another planet. But anyway, get the book. The and we go into all of ancient history. Billy went through it. There's evidence in here. We go through the biblical stuff of Moses, all the truth. This thing is 400 some pages with researchers, pictures, editors. Man, this is the masterpiece. Okay. And we're talking pictures and evidence and everything else. In fact, whatever your name is, email me at contact@WhyTheBigSecret, and I'm going to send you a free copy just for you. But I'm going to sign it though. You might not like what it's going to say, but I'm going to sign it. All right. All right. Love you guys. We will talk.
UFOs. UAPs. Unidentified anomalous phenomena.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Who are they? Where are they from? And what is their intent?
All questions that immediately come to mind with the mention of UFOs.
A Pentagon report is detailing a dramatic increase in UFO sightings, more than 350 since 2021. Many of them are explained as being drones, birds, or weather events, but about half of them remain unexplained.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. Oh my gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
This video taken by the Navy showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the San Diego coast in July of 2019. The Pentagon has since confirmed that the video is authentic.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago. The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucers. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs which landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brazil is the man who discovered the saucer.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
More people are coming forward with their own sightings.
Videos recorded by U.S. Navy personnel have added a new layer of evidence to the current national debate about UFOs.
Right at that moment, I saw what looked like 5 lights flying in formation in kind of an inverted check mark.
The NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAP have an extraterrestrial origin. We don't know what these UAP are.
The mysterious flying objects are still a mystery. NASA will continue investigating them and has appointed a director of UAP research.
Technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had.
Oh, man, look at the fly!